Good morning. Change of scenery to start today. We had another seed truck come this morning, 8 o'clock. Only had 4 boxes on it, but whatever, we'll take it. So we're starting to get quite a pile of seed in here. There's quite a number of boxes, and pretty soon I'll have to start treating. It's too cold now. So I'm back at the farm in the office here making my breakfast, and you guys saw Brock restock the fridge yesterday, right? He did good. The fridge is full. So some new information has come to light in the Dr. Pepper Gate, as you guys have dubbed it, scandal here. Turns out it wasn't Brock who took the last Dr. Pepper and didn't refill the fridge. And by the way, when I was talking about that last week, when I said took the last Dr. Pepper and didn't restock, I didn't mean took the last one and there wasn't any more for me. They're sitting right there. He just didn't put them in the fridge to be cold, or so I thought. Turns out, it was my dad. Sorry, Brock. Brock took a lot of heat for that. It wasn't his fault. I would have never blamed my dad, but what are you going to do? Okay, so we're back down in the shop here. We've got a few different things going on today. We're still working on this tractor. We might do a little washing today. I do need to change hydraulic oil in it. We're right at that 1,500 hour service interval, and I fully intend to do that and would do that today. However, as I have said, our bulk hydraulic oil tank up there is empty. And yeah, poor planning to let it get empty, right? But let me explain here for a second. So we have 2 bulk oil tanks up there, one for hydraulic, one for engine oil, and we have been buying our oil from a third-party company, from a local oil company, same place that we're getting our diesel fuel and stuff from. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with their product. However, it makes me a little bit nervous to not use the John Deere oil in some of this equipment and stuff. So like our new combine, and you know, we had those, remember on our old combine on that S680, we were having the surging issues and the hydraulic issues. What ended up being the hydro pump on their motor or something on the combine itself. They had to get replaced. I'm not saying that oil caused that, but I don't know that that oil didn't cause that, and it gives you that sense of doubt and like, is this oil not good or something? And we're running IVT transmissions in 2 of our tractors, the 7520 and the 8R, and these are high dollar pieces of equipment. They're very, very expensive to fix. And I don't want the oil that we're using to be any kind of an excuse as to why something may or may not have failed. And so it would give me a sense of comfort to use the John Deere oil in our equipment. Engine oil is the same thing. The oil that we've got up there that we've been using, it is not synthetic. And the John Deere engine oil, plus 52, is a synthetic oil. And you know, if you look in the books, it says that you can go, depending on the equipment and stuff, but like on this tractor and the 8R, you can go 500 hour engine oil change intervals if you use John Deere's plus 52 oil and you use Deere filter and you're using ultra low sulfur fuel. Well, I'm using Deere filter and we've got the right fuel, but I'm not really using the right oil. And so when you don't do that, then technically the oil change interval drops to 250 hours. And if I have to change the oil twice, compared to once a year, I have to do it twice a year on these tractors. All of the savings that we're getting by getting our oil $2 or $3 a gallon cheaper are totally wiped out and gone. And so I think we're going to switch. And that's what I've been kind of waiting to do. I want to get the tanks empty so that we can bring in Deere bulk oils. So we've called our old supplier this morning and told them that we intend to switch. They're going to sell us those tanks up there. That was their tanks, and we asked, can we buy them from you, or do you want them back? And we'll have to find some different ones. But he said, no, I'll sell them to you. And they were nice about it, but it's just, one of them situations that you don't like to have to address. And again, I'm not saying there is anything wrong with their product. It doesn't make me comfortable, right? And so we have to clean out that one. I sucked it pretty well dry when we changed the hydraulic oil on the 8R, but it's not quite completely empty, so we're going to make sure we get that sucked out and then it'll be ready for the Deere hydraulic oil. The engine oil, obviously, we still got a little bit in there. We'll have to wait until next year when we get the rest of that used up, and then bring in the Deere engine oil. So that is my plan here for this morning. We're not going to change hydraulic oil in this until I get my new hydraulic oil delivery, which hopefully will happen this week, but I don't really know. So I'm climbing up here to see what we've got. When we put this system up here, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, we built containment. So it's got this kind of raised spot here with plastic inside of it. The tanks are sitting on a platform in there so that if one of them ever started leaking, it's contained. It's, you know, not going to spill all over the place. And these tanks do not get changed. We do not take them down and swap them out. We pump new oil into them. So you can see there's a little bit down in there yet. Not very much. We'll try and drain it out best we can. I don't know about cleaning it because there's a bunch of sediment in the bottom, but I don't know how you clean it out, really. I should. Yeah, we could get some blocks and tip that up a little bit. I've got that empty barrel down there. We can just put anything that's left in there and then use it for topping off some of the equipment that has that oil in there. I don't like blending them and mixing them if I can avoid it, so that's why we're going to try and just keep them separate as much as possible. All right, so I've got our tank tipped up there. It's plumbed down into this hose, and then here, and then there's a T that goes through this wall, and I have that hooked up to this hose, and I open the valve, and we're just going to drain it into this barrel. Let's just say things didn't go as planned. I got the oil out of it, and then I went up there to look at it, and there's all this thick, sludgy crap in the bottom. And I decided I didn't like that. And so I'm going to try and figure out how to clean it out. And I don't know how to clean it out other than I'm going to sit it on the side and get it all to go to one side. And I don't know. I mean, have to rinse it? What am I going to do with the water that comes out of there? It's got oil in it. Can't do that. I don't really want to put diesel fuel in there because then it'll contaminate my new oil. I don't know. I don't know how to get that out of there. I'll brainstorm for a little bit, but anyway, it's not supposed to come down. It can come down when it's empty because it's light enough that I can pull it out across onto our parts bin and then pull it down with the forklift. But this is going to be a bigger project than I wanted today. Oh well. I'm also going to go do some research because I've talked to you about this before about how we only have one pump for two different products and that we shouldn't be mixing them. I'm going to go see what it would take to have a second pump in there. All right, well, what I found out looking online, in order to buy another pump and a hose reel and a meter, basically the exact same stuff that we have, be about $1,000, $1,000 to add a second system. So do I waste a half a gallon of oil between changing from hydraulic to engine to save $1,000, or do I buy it to make sure that there's no cross-contamination and keep them separate? Probably going to keep doing what I've been doing for now, at least. Now, how am I going to clean this out and get all that crap out of there? We got to suck the oil out of the bottom somehow, and then we can work on the sludgy stuff. I wonder if I can... I got this long pole with a wire brush and a scraper on it. I wonder if I can use that to scrape stuff around a little bit. So yesterday I had somebody come and look at this seed tender to buy it, and when I started the motor up, it wasn't running right. Like, it would start, but it was like it was wanting to run away. The throttle was stuck, and this little piece right under here, there was some gunk and stuff in there, and it was stuck wide open. And so I cleaned that up a little bit, and it seems to be working just fine now. The throttle cable there is attached to a little remote thing, and when you push this button, it speeds it up. And then when you hit the down, it shuts it off. So working as it should now. And that guy that came and looked yesterday texted me a little while ago, said he's going to take it. So seed tender is sold. Ugh, I just rotated this. Look at that stuff. What is it? All the additives from the oil that we've had in there all settled out. This is why I question the oil. How am I going to get that out of there? That stuff is nasty. In my theme of jumping all over from project to project today, I had these SCV couplers, hydraulic couplers from the back of the tractor. These two are from the 8R. These two are from the 8430 that we changed earlier this winter. They're the exact same on all those tractors, and this tractor is the same as well. And they were leaking really bad, so I just bought some new ones and swapped them out, but I wanted to see if these were something that I could rebuild, and so I did get some seals, and they all came yesterday. This one in particular, I don't know if you'll be able to see it real well. See how that's frayed there a little bit? I wonder if that wasn't what was causing our problems, but when you got them apart, you just kind of put all new seals in them. So I am working on that. This is the old ones out of this one, and I'm going to do this one here next, and I'll show you how it works a little bit more and how it comes apart and stuff, but it's not too terribly hard to do. There's a handful of seals in there. But before I do that, Dad is getting ready to go up to my sister and brother-in-law's to help them do some construction stuff, and he needs some of the tools that I've done in my house. So I'm going to run down there and grab some of that stuff, bring it back so he can get packed up and ready to go. All right, I'm back from getting the stuff that Dad needed out of my house, and I went and got lunch while I was out because it was time. Back to my oil shuttle cleaning project here. I tipped it again and got everything to kind of settle down into the bottom corner there. And I have made myself a little scooper. I don't know that this is going to work, but we're going to see if we can't at least scoop the majority of that liquid and gunky stuff. Oh yeah, it's real thick. Real thick. Out little by little. And dump it into a bucket. Oh. Yeah. Well, that kind of worked. I got a lot of it. It's just thick, nasty stuff. It's like I need to dilute it down, but I don't really want to put diesel fuel in there. Dad said put diesel in it. And then he said after that put gas in it, and I think that's a bad idea. So, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I turned it again. I'm going to let everything run down to this corner and make a pool. And we'll try and scoop it out again. There was some caught in the valve there and a little bit up on the top that just couldn't get, but it's flowing. We're not going to get this perfect, but we're going to get the majority of it out of there. All right, well, while that's working, we're going to come back over to this, and I'm going to show you how to take apart one of the hydraulic coupler barrels. So the first thing is to get this snap ring off on the outside. So we got to take our pick or a little screwdriver and pry that off of there. I should get a camera that I can set and use two hands and film it. All right, I'll do my best to keep this in frame, but we start with this snap ring. Just get one side out, and then that comes off pretty easily. And then this outside ring comes off, and all the little balls fall out. Don't lose those. According to John Deere's parts diagram, it shows a picture of one of those balls, and it says $4.03. I don't know if it means one is $4.03 or you get the whole lot for $4. But either way, don't lose them. And then you can kind of see all the gunk inside here. It's just dirty. Get my rag. We'll clean that up. There's another snap ring in there that doesn't really do much but take up space. Pull that out. Oh man, the interruptions, they just keep coming. Sorry. All right, we'll get back to that project in a minute. Neighbor from across the street stopped by. He wants to get into his barn and doesn't think he can make it through the snow with his truck, so he asked if we could plow him a path. So I gotta go get the tractor and go do that. There's no problem. It's quite nice out today. It's like 40 degrees, sunny, and melty, and hopefully the snow and ice will melt off of our driveways, and yeah, that would be awesome. There we go. Just needed to get to that door around that snow pile there, so we pushed some out into the field and away from his door. Quick and easy, just another thing taking me away from what I'm trying to do today. I'm not very focused. Look at the water pouring off, the snow melting on the roof there. Just flowing off the side of the barn. That's every now and then in the shop you'll hear stuff falling. That's snow sliding off the roof, or a ledge breaking off there and falling down the side. There's still quite a bit of snow out there though. All right, back to our hydraulic coupler. So we've got this piece off and cleaned up a little bit. Now, I think maybe this back ring screws off of there and that's what compresses the spring, but I don't think there's any seals in there. So we need to get the seals out from inside this coupler. Now, I don't really think these are the ones that have been leaking on us, but like I said, when we're replacing stuff, we're replacing them. So there's one. Set that off to the side, and this other one's a little more difficult, more rigid. Come on. Try not to stab myself with a pick. There. Whoop. Dropped it. Now it's all dirty, but there's that one. Okay, so there's those two. Now I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So there's this center piece in here. You guys see in there? Yeah. So that gets pushed down when you connect this hose to it. It pushes down on this, which allows oil to flow through there, and that also depresses the ball or the tip on the hose end of it. Then the oil actually flows around the outside here in the spring and through all of these holes in here and out in and out to the coupler. So okay, we're going to set that aside for right now, and we're going to get the seals off of this. So we have this white one on the inside, which I didn't realize this until I did the last one, but it actually is on top of a regular black O-ring. So we pull those two out, and then we have just this yellowish off-white one on the outside here. Set that to the side, and again we clean it up, a little brake cleaner. And now we can start piecing them back together. So we'll start with the stuff on the inside. So I got my new seals right here. So we'll put the black one in first. And you just kind of gotta seat part of it in the groove and then keep working it around until it's popped in there like that. And the white one goes on top of it. Just like that. Okay, now I'll put the one on the outside. That's in this bag. That one goes in this groove. Right there. Okay, so that's good. Now we bring this one back, and we got to get the ones inside there. They are in this bag, I believe. With instructions on how to do this. Probably should have read those. I didn't. Yeah. Alright, so you got to put this one in first because it's impossible to get in there once the rubber O-ring is in. This one's not very flexible. Come on. You get it started in the groove and then kind of work it around. It goes a lot easier once you get part of it in. Close. There it goes. Okay. Now that orange one that we just put in goes towards the coupler side. It goes that way. So we got to keep it pulled out and then slide this rubber one in behind it. And the rubber one is more flexible, so it's a little easier to get into position. There. All right. Finally. That one is in. All right, now the difficult part. Getting all these little balls put back together. Oh, wait. We need to clean up the snap ring a little bit. And push it back in there. Okay. Now, all of these little balls go in there. Oop. And the last one, I was able to do this just right, where I was, yeah, I want it this way. Then we turn that over. And very carefully slide it down in there. Okay. So those little balls that we put in that stick in there, that is what holds and locks the hydraulic hose coupler in. So now we've got that on there, and you can see this spring is pushing against the back side of it. And that seal is what keeps the oil from coming out around it, around the outside. And I think that's the one that was bad. But you can, when you pull on the lever on that, or you push on the coupler, it compresses that spring. And I'm not going to be able to do it really. But it compresses that spring, and then it allows those balls to fall into a groove so they pop out, and it allows the coupler in. But anyway, then we take our new, which is, oop, right here, comes with a new snap ring. This goes around the outside and keeps it from sliding apart. There, just like that. So now that's locked up. There, see how those balls move now and they're retracted? And then when I push that in, they're locked into place. That's what holds it in. Anyway, so those two are now good. These two still need new seals, but we're going to try those two out first and make sure that they work and don't leak before we keep buying a bunch of seals. We're going to get back to our tote in a second. Brock said yesterday we didn't have the fuel filters to change the fuel filters on this tractor, which is true. There is a reason for that. I did have them, and then this fall, when we still had the old combine, we were getting some codes for a fuel pressure or something, and it said to change the fuel filters. Well, the filters for this tractor and the combine are the same. They have the same motor, same engine, and so I put the fuel filters that we had for this tractor on the combine in the fall, and I didn't get new ones to replace it. And so when I stopped at the John Deere dealer yesterday, I told them, hey, I need the fuel filters for this tractor. Well, they only had one of the two, and not only did they only have one of the two, John Deere's entire warehouse system did not have any. They're sold out of this particular filter, which is going to be a problem because, yeah, that's a pretty popular engine. They've got thousands of them out running, and they all need fuel filters. So they were going to try and see if they could find me one from one of their other locations or something, but I don't know. Might be a while before we can get a fuel filter for it. So we're going to hold off on that for right now too. You got to change them in pairs, and I don't really want to just do the one. So we'll see. I made myself up a scraper to try and scrape the bottom of this. It seems to work pretty well. If I can get the camera to focus on it, so I can see what I'm doing. I cannot. There we go. But then you pull it out and you got that stuff on there and scrape it into the bucket. Well, I don't feel like I did too bad here. It's not perfect, like I said, but that's a whole heck of a lot better. We got most of the crap out of it. I'm going to call it good enough. I'm going to put the cap back on, and we're going to hose the top off. Not that that matters, because it's just going to get dusty again, but we might as well clean it up while we got it. This is my bucket I stuck all this stuff into, and there's just a... Yeah, you can't even tell, but... Oh, yeah, there. Look at that. Look at that massive stuff. Oh. I mean, all right. That oil shuttle has been up there for it's been at least 10 years, probably 12 would be my guess. I don't remember exactly what year we put that bulk oil system in, but it was before I did the lights, and I did the lights in 2012 because I didn't do them over the top of there. So it's been at least 10 years, maybe 12. It's had hydraulic oil. They call it UTF. It's, yeah, universal transmission fluid. I don't know. Anyway, is that normal to have that kind of sludge and stuff settling out of it? I assume it's the additive packages they put in the oil to give it its lubricity and stuff, and it seems like those are not things that you want settling out of your oil. And if they're settling out of the oil in the shuttle, they're probably doing that in my equipment as well, to a lesser extent. So I don't know. That seems bad to me. Is all oil do that? If you guys know anything about this, if it's something that you know something about, leave me a comment, send me an email or something. I don't know. And just, is that something that I should be concerned about that is a oil quality issue? It seems like it might be to me, but I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Maybe that's perfectly normal and expected. Who knows? We're switching anyway. Okay, after 2 more interruptions, I had a landlord of ours stop by to talk for a little bit, thinking about buying a farm. That's great, no problem with that. And then somebody else called me to talk about some stuff. But look, I got this cleaned up. It's cleaner and stuff. So that's ready to go back up on top, and we're going to slide it back over here, use the forklift, and I kind of lift it up on top of the parts bin and then slide it across the gap there and into place, and we'll get that hooked back up so that whenever John Deere comes to bring us some more oil, it's ready to go. One thing to note about this shuttle, so you've probably seen us use these. We use them for chemicals. Our bulk chemicals come in these shuttles and stuff. Most of them are 250, maybe 275 gallons. This one is especially tall. It is a 330 gallоner. This is a big one, so that's tall. We can get a lot of oil in there. Also happens to be a lot of weight on top of our oil room. And so we're a little bit careful, and we don't need that much anyway, but we did, when we put that up there, put this I-beam in to support the roof, a couple of posts on each side. So we've got plenty of load carrying capacity. It's fine, but those are big shuttles. For example, this one is 1,000 liters, whatever that means. Where's the gallons measurements at? I don't know. Probably a 250 here, but it's definitely shorter, not as tall as what the other one is. We're just going to slide it right off the end of the forks there. Forget even setting it up there, or on top of that. Go around and pull, but something like that. Okay, so now that the oil shuttle is taken care of and we've got that all cleaned out and put back where it needs to go, I got my hydraulic couplers put back together. I could, at this point, be super motivated and start washing this tractor. It's 4 o'clock. But in order to do that, I need to clean the floor up first so we don't get all the mud and stuff, the dirt, the rock picked off wet so that it's not muddy, so we can clean that up first. Or I can be super lazy and go play on a computer the rest of the day. Or I can be kind of lazy and go make some yield or prescription maps and actually do some work, but on the computer the rest of the day. I'm doing that. So I've already showed this one to you, so I'm not going to film any of it, but I'm going to go do that for a little while and see how it goes. I'll transfer video off of my GoPro while I'm doing it, so I'm at least somewhat productive. All right, well, I got a little bit done. Not a lot, but that's okay. So anyway, I'm going home. It's almost 5:30. Thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. Like the videos. It's all helpful. Thank you.